So
And
do we want to call the meeting to order? Like maybe John, if you want to start with a roll call there in the room, and then we can go with the virtual folks.
Yeah. Go ahead, Robin, if you would.
John Dollard?
Here.
I'll just go straight down my list, okay? Matt Montgomery,
Here.
Dolly Holland,
Present.
Micah Drake,
Here.
Tiffany Riggs,
Here.
Colin Mosley,
Here.
Robin, here, Stacy May,
Here.
Rolando Thacker,
Here.
Hannah Gregory,
Here.
Jeremy Hurd,
Here.
Kevin Moore,
Here.
Rachel Adams,
Here.
Todd Blanton.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Next item we have is the approval for the minutes. If anybody's, or if everybody's had a chance to look at those, or if I could get a motion, if there's not any discussion to approve.
I think that where John's the head of the executive committee, I think that he's the one that's got to lead it, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a finance committee meeting and I was running it. So if it's executive committee, my bad. I was trying to coup, John. I was trying to take over. It's all you, man. Run.
No, I appreciate it.
And the only thing that we do need to do is introduction.
Okay. Okay, so we've already got the roll call. We've got the call to order, which was a joint effort. Thank you, Matt. We need to talk about our new member and is she here? No. I was looking at that way. Would you mind to introduce yourself to our group here?
Thank you, Mr. Lowry. I'm Rachel Adams. I'm the new WIOA compliance and reporting manager for the Board Area Development District. I most recently retired from state government in December. Retired for a month and decided retirement was not for me and came back to work. So I'm here.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Your face looks so familiar. I just thought you'd be
Yeah.
part of the team, right? I'm sure I've seen you. Okay. All right. Our action items is, we've got approval of the meeting minutes from our November, meeting. I'm sure everybody's had a chance to look at them. They're usually always in great order. If there's any comments,
I'll make a motion.
there you go.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That is approved. Now we got a financial report, which is, where Matt was, thought we were all into it, which really is kind of the biggest part of our business part. So let's turn this over to Colin.
Okay. Well, so I've got two reports there for November and December. And so we've got at the end of November, at the close of business on November 30th, our overall budget was 40% expended. And we were at 30% in the prior year at this point. Our admin costs were at 39%, and that matches our prior year at 39%. Our adult program expenditures were at 50% expended through November. That compares to 29% in the prior year. Our dislocated worker program was 27% expended compared to 22% in the prior year. And then our youth funding expenditures was 36%, and that compares to 32% in the prior year. And then we were at 7% on our youth program work experience funds that we're supposed to expend 20% of the overall grant work experience. We were at 7% on that. And then at the bottom, everybody can keep up with our invoices with the our direct service provider in Equus. So far, at the end of November, we received the October Equus invoice, November 19th. And then you can see the timeline for that up until we actually paid them on the 6th of December. And then in November, our invoice was received on the 12th. And then if you see in the middle there, we did have we submitted the draw to the state on the 3rd of January. But we did have to pull that back just for one day, as we found in the Equus invoice. It was a small little thing that the totals that we were drawing on, there was about a $6,000 amount that was put to the wrong program. So once we got that adjusted, that was a revision that we received we received a revised invoice from Equus to fix that. And then we updated our data, and then it was approved that very next day by the state. And then we paid Equus on the 13th. And I believe that was right the same day that we received the December invoice. So so there's my November report. And then if you flip through, you can see, you know, we've got our budgeted amounts, and then all the way to the end is our grant allocations, our current grant balances. And if anybody is okay with me proceeding, I'll move on to the December report.
No, I really appreciate the detail. I think in our previous discussions, that detail of, receiving timing, that's exactly what we were looking for. So that makes sense. So thank you for that cover sheet information.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the, basically 30-day time period or less, 31 worst case.
Yeah.
Much better than what we were concerned about last year.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, especially over the holidays. I mean, that's good. Thank you.
Well, I have you know that the draws went good in the holidays, but I had to fight KU over a $70 late fee that we mailed a check on December 20th, and it was due on the 3rd of January. And they said they didn't get it till the 6th. So that was fun. But I don't know if anybody else has seen that sort of thing happen.
Seen that over and over again, and
But there's very little like common sense at the holidays about this kind of thing,
Snail
Anyways,
mail.
Yes. But anyways, I'll go into December then. So at the close of business of December, we were at 46% expended on our overall budget, and we were at 36% on the prior year. Admin costs were at 47%, compared to 40% in the prior year. Our adult program expenditures were 56%, and we were at 22% in the prior year. Dislocated worker program was 32% expended compared to 29% in the prior year. Then our youth was at 43%, and we compare that to 38% in the prior year. And then at our work experience for youth, we were at 8% expended on that.
Just a question, all this is our time period to end June this year, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, June 30th for that's the 274 YT 24 grant. Our current grant is, so if you see on the grant balances sheet at the bottom, there's a 274 YT 25 grant that's in there, and then there's the 254 YT 24 grant at the very top. That's the one that we're finishing up there for the work experience.
Okay.
Then, as you can see here, our current ESP invoices, that's just to reiterate from the November invoice, but then we've got the December invoice was received on the 14th. And then, that drawdown was submitted to the state on the 24th, approved on the 27th of January. And then, they send the email whenever they approve the payment on the 28th. That actually has already been, received, and I don't, I'll have to double check if I think Michael already sent the payment over. But on the next, on the January report, you'll have that completed, the December Equus invoice information. But I think we paid them last week on that. Is that correct, Jennifer? For some reason, I'm forgetting. Okay, yes, so Equus is paid up right this minute, and So that's good.
Yeah.
And then. Let's see. And if you just want to see where our current balances are at the end of December, that's there at the end. For our. All of our program grants. If anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Well, this is a question, maybe not in your realm, but I see the 8%, for the youth, which is required to be 20%. I'm always concerned about that percentage, and we're gonna make it. What's your thoughts on that?
So I know on what Jennifer submits, I think that you all are looking at the overall grant. I know monthly we are on track to hit it, so we'll hit it at the end. So, but I'm not, and you also have to stop and think, in April and May is whenever we really have the most amount of our youth WEXs. So each year we've had that big bump, and that's the plan that we have, but yeah, we're on path.
Okay.
If I was worried, I'd be hollering at Jennifer real quick, real fast.
Okay. Okay. So with that, Matt, looking towards you, do you have questions for Colin, about this?
No, I mean, I think that, looking at December being a sort of a halfway point, we're pretty close and being able to transfer it over. It all looks like it's, we aren't on a path to run out of funds or have to slow down services. So all looks good. And the finance packet for my benefit was on top of my email because that's coming later this month and we'll dig into it a little bit more. That's my excuse. But it does look good. And I do make a motion then to approve these reports, both November and December.
I'll
Any
second that.
comments? There we go, second. And Micah, you good? All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Colin. All right. Then, now we come to Stacy for our website renewal, and I've seen a lot of outreach for that, and I'll just tell you in advance, I've just been so busy, I haven't got to research, but I know you've been working. So Stacy, tell us what you got.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. One of the things that I have been working on recently is transferring all of the websites associated with the ad and our grants over from the company site Leo to Wix. Wix, for a comparable cost, just offers a lot more options. It's plug and play for one, and in addition to that, you can have multiple users. So if you have, for example, Jeremy or even Todd, if Todd needs to get in there and look at like mailing lists, you can do blogs, things like that. So one of the questions I kind of broached with Tiff is, with the switch of the Kentucky Career Center, we have the option of just building WIB pages off of the current ad and current Kentucky Career Center pages and not spending the money on an additional page that is dedicated to the WIB. Now, there's reasons why that's a good thing. You're saving a couple of $100s over the course of a couple of years, which is not a huge amount. It's, I would say probably one of the pluses is it's going to be relatively easy to find for people, because if they're going to the Career Center page, they can just find the BGWIB there. But there's also something to be said about having the unique identity of your own page, which is, I was actually involved when the previous board under WIA wanted their own page, which is how the current page came about. So I wanted to show you, I told Tiff that I was going to go ahead and essentially build a draft of the page. I really thought I already had that open. Hold on. There we go. Let me pull up and share. I apologize. It's always difficult when I go from having 3 screens to having a laptop. I fumble a lot.
Understand that.
So I just wanted to show you the option of, here we go. There. are you guys able to see the screen?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. I do really like the page. I think it's a lot more concise than our current page, because the current page was built over probably the last decade. There's a lot of stuff that just kind of floating around on it that was difficult to clean up or merge, where this one is I think very organized for people who would need to come to the page to find things. Things like the governance. All of this is a drop down that kind of explains it, as well as there's links to the documents associated with that. Same thing for operations. You'll find under there are policies, plans like that, and then providers. So general information like that. It still has the meetings page that we talked, that we had, but now I've moved the minutes and things over to that, so everything is organized in a list. Same thing with the members. It's broken down, so if the state wants to come in and look at the memberships and things like that, they can find those easily. So, and that's really what it's about. Now, a lot of this information, if we switch it, can either be put all under the Kentucky Career Center page, or divided between things that are relevant to the ad being the fiscal agent, and then the stuff that's associated with the program side of it under the Kentucky Career Center, depending on how you guys would like to do that. Or we can keep everything together as it is now. Again, one of the things
Do you
that
know how much traffic you're getting to this site today?
To the current BGWIB page, it's about it. I mean, it really varies. It depends on if we have special projects that's associated with just the BGWIB and not really directly with the Kentucky Career Center, but anywhere from a couple of dozen to a little over 100. It is not a whole lot. Because
I
we
asked,
are
so like if a
we are
URL changes
operations.
or something like that, that's not going to be as significant if it's a smaller number of people, right?
I'm sorry, I
Um,
didn't hear the question. I apologize. What?
No. It sounds like if there's not, thousands and thousands of people, I assume
Oh,
if you
no.
move it, that there would be a URL change. Or can
Well,
you
no,
keep?
we can keep the URL. That was one of the reasons why I went ahead and started rebuilding it, because the renewal is coming up for the domain and stuff, so we can switch it over to this one.
Yeah. Will you still have the same access if you were to switch it, where you'd be able to edit it, or is there like some set of state content authors that sign off or manage it?
No, it is entirely on us. And one of the reasons why I wanted to move all of them away from Siteleo is because this provides a lot more of an allowance. So some of the issues that have come up, like if I go on vacation and there is an emergency update to the website, which believe me has now happened twice in less than a year, not to the BGWIB, but to some other websites that I oversee. There is nobody else that can make those updates currently under Siteleo, because we don't share passwords. So I have to, wherever I'm at, be able to log in and do that no matter what. So Wix will allow me to have additional admins that can come in and do that. So and I think
That makes a lot more sense. I mean, if you
Mhm.
were to win the lottery here, right? I mean, we want to make sure we don't have to recreate the
Exactly.
entire site from scratch. So is your
Yes.
recommendation then to move to Wix with this new platform with the Kentucky, or what's the recommendation?
If you're asking for my personal recommendation, I complete transparency on the thing. When I originally broached this question with Tiff, I thought it would be best and easiest just to put it under the Kentucky Career Center. But as I rebuilt it, I realized that the unique identity of the BGWIB, and how it's sort of the in between from the program side to the administrative side, that it's probably in my opinion, if you guys find it financially reasonable to keep it, again, it's going to be like around $450 for 3 years. So it's not a huge amount of money, to go ahead and keep it, because, and as far as other workforce, boards and areas across the state, it's a mix. So it's not like I can say we're the only ones that do that. It's really, some have it, some don't.
Are we able to use our federal funds for this? Yeah, I mean, my recommendation would be to go with your recommendation then too. If it's giving you flexibility, you can manage it at a low cost. I mean, $150 a year works out to like $10 a month, right? I mean, less than $15 a month. It's not, I mean, I know that adds up, like if we had hundreds and hundreds of these projects, but that seems to be a reasonable amount to have the flexibility and be able to keep things up to date as you need to, and it doesn't prevent you from linking from the Kentucky site. So I'd recommend that we follow your recommendation here.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions, or is there anything they would like to see, or anything I can do for anybody?
I haven't had a chance to look at it. I trust that what you want is perfectly in line with what we should have. I trust that 100%.
Okay.
And it seems from what you presented that it's a lot it's more user friendly.
With the switchover, I was able to pull stuff and organize it a lot better. And again, Siteleo, bless their hearts, for when I started using them, they were perfect for what we needed. But now, to keep things a lot more organized, easy to find for people, because really the BGWIB's website is a reference site for the things that we do, as opposed to really marketing, because the marketing and outreach normally would come from the Kentucky Career Center, because even if it's a BGWIB initiative, it's going to come out through the Kentucky Career Center staff reaching out to people. So we're really a reference site for what we do that would direct people to what we need, so we can identify ourselves and what we do, and send people in the correct direction. So yeah, that is what I was attempting to do. Stop sharing my screen. If you guys do approve, I will finish up. I have a meeting, I believe it's this week, with the other board support staff and Jennifer, about the new Kentucky Career Center site, and hopefully we can get the both of them launched in the next week or so, and that way we'll be up to date, and they both reflect each other in appearance too. The Kentucky Career Center site, you can tell that the BGWIB and the Kentucky Career Center Bluegrass are connected when you're looking at them. The formatting is very similar. The appearance, the use of colors, the layouts of the pages, you can tell that we are connected with each other, which I think is also very important. Right now, we're very standalone if you go to the two websites. So.
I love it. I can tell you from an outsider first seeing this, I remember I had 3 different information things posted on my wall at my office. One was the ad, one was BGWIB, one was the Career Center. And for me to even figure this out, I didn't figure out which one I'm talking to.
Yeah.
But, that's for me, when I first got involved looking at this, so thank you. I think that's gonna be great. I guess we're looking for a motion to approve Stacy's wishes, right? I think Matt was on board with that, right?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. I like that. It'd be interesting, I mean, not required for the motion, but it'd be interesting just to look at how traffic, like what are people interested in, just to make sure that we've got that content. I'm sure you're looking at that stuff, but just to understand, is there more links that we a launch anyway? But sorry, I make a motion to approve, to use, Stacy's recommendation for the website.
I'll second.
One person. Thank you, Micah. And Dolly, I'm on. Are you on? I'm good. Aye.
Thank-
That one
I love
goes.
it, Stacy. I love it.
Yes. Okay, next up, we've got our joint meeting and we've got a couple things to talk about. Robin.
So at our last full board meeting, everyone gave some suggestions and I looked into 3 of those places. One of them was the Berea Gallery and Event Center, and this is a picture of it. They've just redone it and it's getting ready to open. Donna Angel, our board member, is in charge of that and she has penciled us in just in case you guys use that location. But it's completely free and it's completely new. She was in the process.
Free? A gallery?
Free, yeah. So she was in the process of ordering some furniture last week. And they'll have community art and everything in there, so it sounds like it's gonna be a really neat place.
Yeah.
And I contacted BCTC in Winchester, which they are doing a renovation of that recently purchased building. And the lady wasn't able to confirm for me for sure that we would be able to use that place in September.
That's they call it the old Amazon building.
Across the way.
Across the way, and that can be like a new nursing program, stuff like that.
That's a decent sized building for education purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Fayette County Cooperative Extension Office, you can't book anything there more than 60 days in advance because they want to reserve the rooms for themselves first, and that's how far they schedule out. So that's a possibility, but personally, I don't like to wait that close to get everything planned. It kind of makes me
Yeah.
nervous. So,
Do we have
What's really funny as you talk about that is I was looking at that list. My preference was 231 from the perspective of I like being able to advertise our services. And I felt like BCTC, being able to show up what's happening there, right? Experiencing what some of our consumers would get, right? I mean, that was going to be good. But the fact that they're still renovating makes me really nervous. And then the Fayette County not being able to get it for 60 days, what happens if we can't? Then these other places are going to be booked. So that seems not like a good idea. I also like it when we go outside of Fayette County. I mean, I live in Fayette County, but I like when we go outside. I know it does impact our chance maybe to have the mayor attend, but still, I feel like we represent 17 counties. Let's try to get out to them. And I grew up in Berea, so I put that one third, but free sort of lights that one up.
in the location of that one in Berea, it is just 2 blocks off the interstate, a straight shot. So it'll be easy for everyone to get to.
And how big is the space, do we know? Is it just gonna be big enough to accommodate
Yes.
the amount of people?
Yeah. It used
Is
to
that where they
be-
have all the art and stuff that you can see it right from the interstate? It's got a little
Yeah,
cafeteria.
It used to be the Mitchell Toll Gallery.
Oh, okay. So it's right up the top of the hill there, as you get off the second exit. Okay, yeah. Okay,
So, yeah, it's fairly large, definitely.
Okay. Micah, Dolly, you guys have a vote on that? Which direction you would like to go?
I think if I would go ahead and make a motion that we move to Berea. Or move towards Berea.
I would agree with that too.
I think 3 for sure, and Matt's, hometown there.
Yeah, I'll take you on the tour where I grew up, it'll be beautiful, right? Go hike the pinnacles.
And I think, Donna will be tickled, right?
Oh, yeah, she's,
So I think,
Yeah,
Somebody
but I
make-
love, let's keep the relationship, of course, and I know you will, with BCTC locations or these other locations where, where people are actually gonna get the training. I think that was really good for people to see. I love it was a BCTC or wherever it was last time, I thought was great to kind of see and show off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
next year that may be a good option when they're finished with their renovating
I
that building, transitioning
agree.
it over from Amazon.
I'll definitely keep that high on our list.
Sounds good. So we're looking for a motion for Berea.
I will
I'll
make
make a
the
motion.
motion as a former pirate there that we go all Berea. Yeah.
Alright, so Dolly, I think everybody's in agreement, so all in favor of Berea? Aye, right.
So then our next item is also about the joint meeting. And, we have the three proposals in the thing. I hope you guys had a chance to look at it a little bit, but basically breaks down to Coach D, which he has a lot of experience. He's like, oh yeah, I've worked with JTPA, WIA, WIOA. Awesome sounding guy, high energy and everything. However, his charges are $8,000 if we book the flight and hotel and pay for it, or $10,000 if he comes on his own. That's
This is
expensive.
Coach D. Sorry. So you,
Coach D.
oh, yeah.
And then,
But I also
Asami-
saw his note on there. I know you're on a budget, let's discuss. Does that mean he's willing to come down?
yeah, he is.
Okay.
Cause he asked me, he said, what is everyone else charging? And I said, well.
2,000, 2,000.
He's gonna have to come down a whole lot.
I have to up my game. I'm a paid spokesperson sometimes.
So-
Up my game.
So he's negotiable, but when you hear the prices for the next ones, I doubt he's that negotiable. So our next one is Hassan Davis, who you guys, some of you guys might be familiar with. He spoke at SETA when they were in Louisville last time. And he's a local.
I went to
Berean.
college with Hassan.
Okay, I was gonna say, you probably know that, so
Yeah.
that kind of goes with the Berea theme. His theme is usually a hope dealer, and he talks a lot about his childhood. And working with youth is his focus, and he has told us that he normally charges 5,000. But he will do what it takes to be the speaker for us at this event. So Tiffany and I were thinking something around 1,000, maybe if we offered him 1,000.
Cause like he lives in Berea, he could maybe just like, cause he knows where the location is when we had talked about the different locations. And for the Berea one, he was like, oh yeah, that's just right by my house.
Oh.
So,
Yeah. And then the third one, Curtis Campanoni. Say that fast, so, because I don't know how to pronounce it, but, he's also been a speaker at SETA, so I know some of you guys know that. He's actually the key speaker at SETA this year. And he talks about empowering youth to be their own workforce heroes. He has a book out, now, and his, about that and helping kids. His fees, he has agreed to drop his fees and only charge us the flight, hotel, and a copy of his book for all attendees, which the book is like $8 each. Which all of that comes out to around $1,300. He lives in Florida, so would be flying in.
Also, I think the hometown gentleman, the Florida guy, has us in the call, for sure.
So just a quick review of that, that's Coach D for 10,000. Empowering the next generation. Hassan Davis, Hope Dealer for 1,000. And Curtis, empowering youth to be their own workforce heroes for 1,300.
Yeah, I mean, I think the prices are close enough that, well, Coach D is much more expensive. You know, we have to decide if he's worth that or not. But you know, what's going to resonate the most with our you know, the judges, and the staff, like what's going to help them sort of be inspired, you know, as part of this. You know, it sounds like the third guy from Florida is it's really good. Hassan is a great speaker. Like I would recommend him, and I'm hesitant just because I know him, to push him too strongly, but he's really good. But I mean, you guys selected these three. Are there, I know that the Coach D, like talks to a lot of Fortune 100 companies. It looks like, right? He talks to Walmart or whatever. Um, did you have a preference that you were coming in with a recommendation on?
See, here's the thing. We thought we knew for sure Curtis. And then we talked to Hassan. And because I've went to some of Curtis's sessions at SETA, and he is wonderful. He is motivational and everything, but then with Hassan, that's a hometown boy, right? That's a hometown person. So
And I think that resonates with the judges for sure.
So that's the big thing. I think with Hassan, it's just the fact that it is someone is local that we are bringing in but that's just me on that. I think that the judges will like that really good.
Yeah, for me, I would, I flip a coin between 2 or 3 on that one. But the hometown, I think, town atmosphere overrules. That's my opinion now.
Yeah, and to be honest, I really like last year we talked about, we had that whatever you would call it, the role play, right? Where we were coming back from prison and how difficult it was to kind of get things going, and we talk about that space. I really like that you're focused on youth this time, just as a different perspective. So I think that's really, really good. And I know that both Curtis and Hassan are going to talk about youth, although Hassan's going to talk about it a lot more. I mean, again, I'm a big advocate for Hassan, but I just feel a little bit biased because I know him and I don't know Curtis. Like Tiff, you've seen him talk before, but
I would still go with hometown.
yeah.
It's just what it is. I would still go with hometown.
That'd be my vote on that. So with that, one of our 3 out on the audience there, would either one like to make a motion or have more discussion about the.
Well, yeah, just a slight discussion there. I mean, I want us to be correct with the rates. I mean, right, I don't like I'll let you negotiate what that is. So we probably have to be a little flexible in our motion to, like, do we feel differently if Hassan doesn't come down, like, he comes down to 2,500? I mean, I still feel like that's okay. I mean, it's in our budget, right? It's like, it's so rare to get the valuable time of the judges and the mayor and all the staff that I don't want to shortchange us for a little bit of money, right? But how much negotiating room do you guys feel that you need?
I feel like he would take 1,000, because he literally said to us, I'll do whatever it takes, which it kind of made it sound like,
Yeah.
like he would do it for free, but we felt like.
I think Matt's comment though kind of resonates here. I think for us to make a motion, let's put a number up to.
So, and what if we said up to 1,300, because that would be
I'd say like 3,000.
3,000.
3,000. Because here's the thing, just like Colin, he didn't speak up over here. He quietly whispered, but the budget's not been made yet. So whatever amount for next program year, so whatever amount we decide on, whenever me and Colin and Michael meet to do the budget, we'll put that in there.
Yeah.
So that it's we'll put up to 3,000 in there. That's what.
Matt, do you think 3,000 is a good
John,
number?
you're gonna laugh, but that was the exact number I was thinking of. So, not that we got together ahead of this or talked about it, but that was the exact number I was thinking of.
So Matt, will you be fine to make a motion to the?
Yeah, so I make a motion that we start and move forward with Hassan, and try to negotiate his speaker fee down to $3,000 all in, travel expenses, whatever that is. And then if it does not work out, go with Curtis as a second option under that same sort of spend box.
That way we're not conditioned to one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Cool.
Do we have a second on that idea?
I'll second that, John.
All right, thank you. Mike, are you good? All right, all good. So that's the motion that's been made, 3,000, Hassan first, Curtis if Hassan does not work out. That sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, informational time. We got a report from Jennifer, if she's still there. Is she there? Her light is blinding me, but
Sorry, John.
your
Can you hear
camera's
me?
pointing right above your head to the light.
Fix that for you.
There you go.
So in your packet, you'll have the December, report and, we have the same outreach, that we continue to be in adult eds and libraries, across our 17 counties. We were in, I think, 10 recovery centers in the month of December. We're working with a lot of high schools, so the outreach is still there. The thing that I was going to highlight for you all were just some of our initiatives that we had going on, because I think that's the things that have kind of changed and they matter. It's what we're focusing on. So putting Young Kentuckians First initiative is an initiative straight down from the state where we're focusing on 16 to 24-year-olds that wish just to go straight into the workforce versus joining a post-secondary 2 or 4 year college. So we have 2 case managers that are on that project, and they're actively out in high schools regularly, building relationships with key partners. And so our goal is to enroll 200 for year 1 and 200 for year 2. So we're seeking young kids that just want to go to work, and maybe we pay for a small credential like a nurse aide or a welding certificate, but we're not looking for people, going to UK for 4 years or EKU for 4 years or even BCTC for 2. So that's a project that's heavy on our plate right now, and we feel very confident that we've kicked off strong, building the right relationships to get those referrals in place. The next one is we're working with Mercer County with the water treatment plant there. They identified that there was a huge need for water treatment operators in their county and surrounding counties. So we've partnered with them. We're in the process of getting a master agreement signed with them so that we can give them some paid internships. And they are confident that once those internships have completed their hours, that they'll either hire them on or give them to a partnering county. So because the need is great for the water treatment operators. So it's a perfect example of how we're serving our job seekers and also meeting the needs of the employers out in our counties. And then Kevin Moore and I are working with BCTC in Lexington with their refugee program. So these are individuals that we're not paying any tuition. Their tuition's paid for under a grant, but we're looking just to connect them to employment once they've completed their program through BCTC. They're very excited to be working with us. And then we're working in Garrett and Lincoln to launch a nurse aide cohort. So we're recruiting 18 to 24-year-olds in Garrett and Lincoln County. We're going to pay for their nurse aide and potentially pay for them to do a paid internship. So that's an initiative out in Garrett and Lincoln. And then in Garrett County alone, we are recruiting people that want to be trained as EMTs, and they're on site at the fiscal court under the EMT division. There's a trainer on site that's training locally in-house. So we're recruiting 18 to 24-year-olds that want to do a 4-month, 1 day a week EMT training course. And we're going to be funding that through that Putting Young Kentuckians First initiative. So, and then another one that Robin may be talking about later, or Tiff, but Robin has definitely taken the lead on this, is the child care initiative. So it's kind of 2-part. One is we're working with Miss Debbie on our board with the Child Care Council to get in-home providers set up for people that want to be entrepreneurs and start their own in-home care. And then in addition to that, the second part of that is that we're recruiting individuals who want to work in a daycare. And we're going to train for the credentialing, which is just like a couple $100 each to get them work ready and pay for a paid internship. So we have shifted just a touch, and you all probably can see that. This time 2 years ago, we had a lot of money and we had 123 WEXs actively on our payroll, and we've had to shift. And Tiff told me, she said, you've got to learn to do more with less, do more with less. And so she preaches that to me. And so we've shifted to these small cohorts so that we can serve all of our counties. And so, Garrett is a really underserved county. Historically, it's not been one we've outreached in it, but we've not done initiatives in it. Lincoln is another one of those. Mercer is another one. So we're really shifting our mindset to do more with less, and these small cohorts touching all of these little smaller counties. So you guys are going to see more of that in our reporting in the months and years ahead for sure. I'll answer any questions that you all have.
And the one thing that I want to point out on the small cohorts, like the Estill County CDL project, where we partner with BCTC. Judge Watson, head over heels about it, wants us to do something else, because I've said in the meetings at the ad, whenever the Leos have said, nobody's really doing anything in my county. Well, that's our priority now. And you don't think about it, but if you have 3 or 4 individuals who get jobs in a county, that changes the lives in that county a whole lot. It helps with income tax base and things like that. So yeah, they're doing good.
I love the success stories that you've got there. I mean, those are great success stories. They're not, I mean, sometimes when they play with your heartstrings, right, you read them and they do play with your heartstrings, but this is just true. Here's some people that needed to transition. They needed a little bit of help to jump to the next level. We helped them do that. Now they're really happy and they're, contributing to the tax base, all that good stuff. I mean, those are great success stories.
Thank you. Yeah, Kevin beats it over our head and has for years. He's like, Jennifer, create taxpayers. And so it's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I don't know if the Leos see that, but I think that those are just somehow to sort of highlight those with the Leos for what we're doing in their county. I mean, that's just really good.
Yeah,
I know.
When we have the ad executive meetings, we each get a couple of slides, you know what I mean, to discuss whatever, but my slides are basically enrollment numbers, walk-in numbers, but then the next 2 slides are just success stories. That's all I do is highlight those.
Yeah, we're very proud of the work that we do, and I'm on calls with people from other states frequently, like other projects across the nation that are doing the same thing we're doing with Equus, and they oftentimes will say how do you do it? Like, what's your key? And I think that the key for us is that we hire people that really have a heart to make a difference, and we nurture that. So I think it's all in the hiring. You have to hire people that really want to make an impact, and somebody that'll go that extra mile to make it happen. So we're really proud of the team. And I think David Detlinger has been going out to some of the counties, and Tip will text me randomly and say, hey, pull me a report for Garrett or pull me a report for Mercer. And so I'll pull her some bullets together so that, they can have talking points. But we're doing a really good job in all of our counties, but we're going to make sure that we bring some initiatives to each of them.
Cool. Anybody have questions for Jennifer? Yeah, I love this part of this meeting to get to hear all the good stuff, right? The outcome of what we're here for, right? And we always end with Todd.
So in your packet, you will see the report from December. We had 636 walk-ins, 142 new referrals. So those referral numbers have been pretty steady the last, 6 months even. I mean, And that just tells you those 142 are people that are looking to get either basic services, training, it could be anything. The walk-ins encompass all the customers from Lexington, Danville, Georgetown, and Richmond, so it could be any other partners. But the 142 new referrals are either looking for training, looking for more intensive services, so those go to Jennifer's staff, and they kind of sort through exactly how we can best help them.
Now, how does the referral happen?
So we've got an online form that people fill out. We've got a couple tablets in public libraries. We've got tablets at a couple of our recovery houses. We've got QR codes at all of our offices. So if somebody is here today or in Richmond and our staff are not able to meet with them, the goal is for take 5 minutes out of their time and say, hey, what are you interested in? And then we'll have them fill out this referral form, John. It basically takes all their information to kind of get an idea of what they're looking for. Have they been laid off from employment? You know, what's their current employment status? Just so the case manager has an idea of basic information.
Okay, so like a little intake.
Basically, yes, and that's electronic. And then Jennifer's staff will go through those kind of by area, and they get assigned to each, you know, individual area case manager, and then they reach out to them. Typically within 48 hours, they'll have them on the phone and have an appointment scheduled to meet with.
Great.
December, we had a couple rapid responses. There was Tyka in Winchester, and the Army Depot had another one in December that we did. A couple of VR events and job fairs are listed there, and then there's a little bit more detail about the rapid responses in December. Typically, December's not too crazy busy, holidays and whatnot. But the Bluegrass Army Depot is gonna be having another larger rapid response coming up soon. We've got another couple of rapid responses scheduled with FedEx, next week. That's gonna be shutting down the hub here in Mercer Road because the new place that opened in Georgetown. So we'll be having a couple more of those rapid responses. I just got an email as we were sitting here. It's funny because I told Ted before the meeting started. I've got the signed lease for Richmond from, secretary. So effective February 1st, Colin, we can start collecting rent from adult ed.
For free
The-
for a while.
The breakdown of space is basically, it's a 2,900 square foot space. They've got 1,500, we've got 1,400, so it's about a dead even split kind of. But we'll finally be able to start collecting that, so I'll send that to you and Michael and let you all coordinate with Wayne, kind of the same way that you do here, how to start getting paid for Richmond. There is going to be some talks now that that lease is signed. We occupy 2 suites on the first floor of the building in Richmond where Kentucky River Foothills was housed. There are 2 additional suites that are available now. Adult Ed has already expressed some interest in occupying one of the vacant suites. The other one has a really nice conference room and a couple of offices. I mean, if we're gonna stay there in Richmond, this is a decently priced space as far as rent goes. And it would give us the ability to occupy a whole entire floor and give everybody enough space to kind of grow into. So this lease was kind of the holdup on discussing more space. So now that everybody finds out the lease has been signed, it's just a matter of time before we get back into talking about more space there. But hey, that was good news there. So,
Yeah. Well,
and I'll take any questions that you have.
Would that suite in Richmond, would that give us back the IT code?
It will give us back the closet.
Good.
Yeah. It'll give us back the IT closet. Yeah.
important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Anybody got any, question for Todd or open it up for open discussion? Everybody's quiet, Todd. You
Good
gave
work,
all the-
Todd. I don't mean it to seem that diminish what you do or that we're all tired, right? So we're not commenting, but good stuff.
Yes.
Thanks for that, Matt.
All right, our next meetings are in that packet, kind of a laydown of some meetings, so we keep abreast of where we're at. And Robin has sent out a bunch of, Outlook invites and not so far away to read the time,
They should all the invites are out now.
because they were coming in like a flood. Thank you for that. And with that, If nobody's in
There-
there we go.
One thing that I wanna, update you all on is, remember in March, the RFP goes out, it mainly affects you and
Man,
Matt and Judge Bottoms. So, but it'll get sent out. We're working on the board certification, the local plan and the regional plan. And then the one thing that I'm super excited about, me and Dolly attended a session, at SETA about HBCUs. And me and Todd had a meeting, with Kentucky State, and we're gonna get that set up as an access point. Rachel's gonna help us with that because, her niece she had helped her niece set up a lot of stuff in.
So my niece plays basketball at South Carolina State, which is an HBCU, and they have a career center on campus that she helped through their NAACP organization down there. So,
So, yeah. So that's what I have.
awesome. Because
Oh,
South Carolina,
hey, Tiff, can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
I forgot, to say, Rachel, welcome to the team. We're so glad that you're here. And I know that all of you all around the table know the value Rachel brings, but for Matt and Dolly and Micah and John, Rachel is a valued key player that's helped us for many years. And so to have her on our team now is a huge score for the area, no doubt. So welcome, Rachel.
thank you.
awesome. I think that's buttering up the torture that's gonna happen later.
All right, I make a motion then to adjourn, John. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I was waiting for that. Second?
Micah, I'll let you second.
All right, I got it.
All right. Thank everybody for being here. See you
Thank
guys
you.
next time.